Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Bruning. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin is still with us. For those asking for an update, Colin, how you doing? How you feeling? The leg
Checking
is
out.
still not great.
It's like normal feeling skin though. Before it was like this hard stuff. Well,
Yeah,
I'm more worried about the rest of my body now though.
yeah.
So
Colin was showing me in photos. He didn't take his shirt off, but he in photos on his phone he was showing me what his upper half looks like, and it's not great. So pray for Colin.
yeah,
Pray for Colin.
I'm supposed
Hope
to have a
everything.
housewarming party this weekend, and if this stuff gets on my face, we're just not gonna do that. Imagine welcome, and it's like look
Like
like
Two-Face from
yeah, from a
Batman.
Batman. Yeah,
It's exactly. Yeah.
that'd be
So
funny.
hope Colin is okay. There's your update on Colin. Also, Colin, we have a new layout, kind of, sort of. We
Not
have now
layout's the same. Check out the X logo though. It sucks, but it's X now.
X logos here and there, and then we have our home field code at the bottom
Yeah.
right. Code M Green, 15% off. We want to remind everybody because
Yeah, I need to remind
um,
everybody because I'm not trying to say y'all are slacking, but y'all are slacking. Okay.
well, we got to such a hot start, Colin,
Yeah.
with like thousands of dollars of home field stuff being sold
Yeah. And then it
in
fell
the
off a
first few
cliff, and we
days.
need not fall off a cliff.
And I'll take blame. I'll take blame.
I'll
I'll
take
put my
blame
hand
is
up. I'll
crazy.
put my hand up and say, look, that's on me. All right. I have not promoted it enough. But code M Green for home field
Well,
apparel. If
now
you
there's
don't
no
know,
excuse, because it's right
there's
right
no excuse
there.
anymore.
Yep.
If you're watching us on YouTube, it's right there in the corner. 15% off your first
Yeah.
deal, 10% off every subsequent order. Um, yeah, it's a great way to support the podcast, support the show, support home field, all that stuff. It's football season now, so you need some new shirts, you need some new clothes to go out and hang with your North Texas friends. So there you go. Code M Green, 15% off your first deal at Home Field Apparel.
You know what
Check
home
that
field
out.
needs? They
What
need to
was
sell
that?
tank tops.
Ooh. Well, you could just, cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, but you're not gonna do that on a shirt that's that expensive, Bruni. You're just not gonna do
It's not
that.
that expensive, honestly. Like 30 to $40.
If I buy a brand new shirt and I instantly have to cut the sleeves off of it because it's not what I wanted, then there's a problem. So I think they
Well,
just make a tank top for
called
the
being
schools that,
creative, Colin.
well, the schools that are in the South need it, you know?
It's getting
Also,
cool.
I'm trying to, I haven't officially announced this, but I'm trying to do the mustache thing again with JD. So it's beginning. I think you should do it. I think you should
I
shave the whole
I'm
beard.
not shaving. I'm not shaving. We're not doing that. Well, that's good. Good for Colin. He's trying to do the mustache thing, I guess.
Officially, unofficially.
Eric Morris has started a trend,
Yeah.
and we'll see. Once he shaves it, I'm sure everybody else will shave theirs too. So, okay, let's get into it. Week 0 saw 3 of North Texas opponents play. And Colin, we already made our season predictions, so we can't go back on them anymore.
Yeah.
But Navy
Yeah.
got routed by Notre Dame. La Tech barely squeaked by FIU when FIU had a whopping 4 passing yards. Where do you want to start? Which team do you want to start with here?
I think we got to start with the one that we saw first, and that was Navy.
Yeah.
We both said that this is going that they would be losing this game.
Yeah.
Away at Navy, it's their first, real quote unquote test. Navy has been good in the past. After watching Notre Dame, they are no longer good or any semblance of that. I wish we could go back on it, but we can't. They lost 42-3. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
42-3.
Look, here's
look. I don't know what you want me to say.
I tweeted out North Texas is not losing to Navy. Okay. And I tweeted that out, and that was obviously maybe an overreaction, maybe a quick reaction, maybe instant reaction, whatever you want to call it. Navy was awful. They were not impressive by any means. Defensively, even if you get past the sheer fact that Notre Dame is bigger, faster, stronger, like you get past that, they just didn't look like they knew what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a major concern, obviously, for a Navy team that is based around discipline and we're just gonna punch you in the mouth 100 times and eventually you cave. Now, with that being said, Navy's also a team that is not built to come from behind, and when they get down, they're going to panic/struggle to come back because they just don't have that type of offensive playmaking ability. So every play is kind of do or die for them. And when you're playing Sam Hartman and a Notre Dame team that is a top 10, top 12 team in the country, you're going to lose that battle. So I overreacted initially, then I pulled it back a little bit, and now I still think this is going to be a tough game for North Texas because if it's played within the margins, if it's played by a 7-point game either way, Navy they're not going to panic. They're not going to get down the way they got down to Notre Dame, and they're not going to get pushed around the way they got pushed around by Notre Dame. So if I would right now, I would pick North Texas to beat Navy, but I don't want to. I kind of settled down a little bit over the past.
Yeah, they're not going to blow out Navy 42-3.
They're not blowing out
That's what
Navy.
you're saying.
And if it's a tight game, like at Navy, first road game of the year, first road conference game of the year, I should say, like, and I mean, who knows what the weather's going to be, all that stuff. I'm just saying, you don't want to get in a brawl with Navy, and they very well could turn that into a brawl. So I am a little worried still about that game. La Tech FIU was about as ugly of a game as you could ever imagine, and it really epitomized what Conference USA is. Also, speaking of the devil, Jacksonville State UTEP was also a painfully ugly game to watch. And now, after watching those two, I'm now invested in Conference USA as a football conference, not because it's good, but because it is fascinating to how bad these teams are and how much of a rock fight.
How much worse do you think they are than they were last year? Like, I thought Conference USA was probably the worst or second worst football conference. How bad do you like? If you had to, I know we all know what's worse, but if we had to put how do you think the CUSA commissioner is feeling right now? How do you think
she was on the broadcast? She was on the broadcast and talking and trying to
how unconvincing was she that this was a good
awful.
Conference? Yeah,
she was awful. She was awful, dude. Yeah, it was. Right now, again, Western Kentucky, respectable football team. They're Liberty, respectable football team. Those two teams should win the conference by a large margin. Then you go Jacksonville State, La Tech, Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, FIU, UTEP. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, Jacksonville State coming up from the FCS level was a good FCS team, but they're not anywhere near.
How did they almost win?
Jacksonville State did win.
No. FIU.
Oh, FIU. Dude, it was one big fluky play and then just, I don't know. Yeah. I think they had
listen to this. Let's just listen to this.
Go ahead.
Louisiana Tech, 333 passing yards, 114 rushing yards.
Yep.
You're like, that's pretty good. That's pretty okay. 2 sacks, 6 tackle for loss. They had a pick.
Yep.
There we go. That's pretty good. FIU, 4 yards passing, threw a pick, 170 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then they lost a fumble.
Yeah.
And they almost won.
They very well could have won. La Tech had a drive and they won the game at the end, basically. So it's I feel good about North Texas against either one of these teams. I think La Tech is much better than FIU still, and so that is nothing changed in that regard. But yeah, man, I'm just FIU, La Tech. Thank God North Texas is out of Conference USA and not stuck in this conference. But yeah, so go through those 3 games. North Texas fans have to be feeling pretty good at this point.
Yep.
Between those 3, if again, it's still on the table. Let's go back to what I said earlier. In the month, if you beat Cal, who's stopping you?
Nobody, unless it's a trap game. Trap game,
FIU week 2.
I don't know if okay. We go through because our schedule, as we already said, we can't go back on it. We have Cal. If they beat Cal, then we have to obviously say that they beat Louisiana Tech and FIU.
Yeah, beat ACU.
Really, you have to think you have to think of.
You're 4-0.
You're 4-0. Yeah, you have to think is that Navy game or because ACU is easy.
Temple and Navy are your first.
Temple and Navy. So which one of those is going to be your first loss? I still am of the mind that Notre Dame is just a class above Navy. I
Yeah,
think, well, everyone knows that. They saw the game. Navy is not FIU or La Tech. I think they're still going to be a respectable team.
I think so.
Temple, in the same breath, is probably better than Navy, especially according to all these Temple
Then
fans that are in our mentions.
wait, Temple's better than Navy, or they're better than
Temple's
La
better
Tech?
than Navy. You don't think Temple's
Okay,
better than Navy?
they're in the same class for me as like the 10th best team in the American, something like that.
Yeah, but it's a home game to me. So I think
Yes,
Navy is your first possible loss if you beat Cal.
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you beat Cal, you're favored in the next 5 games, most likely.
Right. And
Most
then
likely.
it's can you live up to those expectations?
Yeah. So then
That's what we're talking about next.
you're a step away from 6-0, my friend. All right. So
Crazy.
there are our new expectations for that. Let's get to Cal. Cal named Sam Jackson starting quarterback. For those who don't know who Sam Jackson is, he transferred out of TCU. He was the third string at TCU last year behind Chandler Morris and Max Duggan. 5'11", 200 pounds, redshirt sophomore. There was a whole battle going on with Cal's quarterback situation. We talked about it a lot on the podcast, but he wins the job, and he is the runner.
Yeah.
He is the runner. In fact, he's so much of the runner. I went and looked him up, and it was on 24/7's page. The evaluation by Alan True, who does the West Coast recruiting for them, who does a really good job. The comparison for Sam Jackson is Deontay Johnson, wide receiver for the Steelers. As a senior, Sam Jackson caught, let me find it. Let me find the stat again. I believe he caught 50 passes
Wow.
as a receiver. In his last year of high school. Oh, here it is. Let me scroll down. 50 receptions for 847 yards and 14 touchdowns as a receiver during his 2018 sophomore campaign. Played 1 year as a quarterback in 2019 as a junior, passed for 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns. It's not a ton. And then 2020 senior season was postponed by COVID and did not play during his team's 4-game stint, and then early enrolled at TCU.
Wow.
We're talking about a guy that has 1 year of playing experience, of
Yeah,
actual
as
playing experience.
quarterback.
The last 2 years, he's been a quarterback at TCU as the
But
third
he's not
string,
played, yeah.
but he hasn't played.
Right.
2019 junior year. It doesn't say how many games this was in, but 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns. That's probably in like a 8, 9, 10 game sample size. So we're talking about what, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns a game at quarterback. Like I said, now he was evaluated by 24/7 as more of an athlete than quarterback, but so that made him like a high 3-star, borderline 4-star prospect. But still, you read Alan True's evaluation of him, and he says, as a receiver, he has average height, needs to bulk up some, does stand out on film as a play explosiveness and playmaking ability, fast, makes cut at full speed, and shows great ball skills for someone who has not played full-time receiver yet. Also has a strong arm at quarterback. The main question there is size to be a college signal caller. Again, he's 5'11".
Yeah.
And then too explosive and athletic to not make an impact at college somewhere on offense, even if it's a receiver who plays quarterback part-time.
Interesting.
That's
I
out of
think
high
it's
school.
I think it's interesting that he was able to keep the quarterback position in college after barely playing it in high school. So there's got to be something there. Like the fact that TCU kept him as a quarterback,
Yeah.
like even if he didn't play and
Yeah.
didn't just move him to a wide receiver or anything else to affect the game. I think that's pretty interesting. And then he still won the Cal job. He
He did
still
win the
won it. He still had to win it. I think this is worst case scenario in terms of the guy who got the job because North Texas in the past has been really bad about athletic quarterbacks.
That's true. That's a good point. I hadn't considered that. Is the last few years they had been very they had struggled quite a bit with quarterbacks
Yeah,
who can move. But this is a new defensive coordinator.
it is a new defensive coordinator.
It's a new day, Colin. It's a new head
However, there
coach.
have been a lot of other new defensive coordinators in
Yeah,
the
but that was
past few
under the same
years.
head coach.
That's true.
So I was just
That's true.
I'm erasing everything of the last 6 years, Colin. This is a new day. I'm
Okay.
gonna have to see this Sam Jackson fellow beat us.
Okay.
Like I will be, and this guy is probably one of the best runners in the country, like pure runners. If we're
Yeah.
just talking about a guy who's basically you hear that thrown around a lot as a receiver playing quarterback or a running
Yeah.
back playing quarterback. That's what they say about Lamar Jackson a lot. It's like this is actually a receiver playing quarterback. Now he has played quarterback the past few years at TCU while not getting on the field, but still, it's an interesting situation where I think it's actually good for North Texas to not play. Well, obviously, we knew they weren't going to play a good quarterback from Cal. Cal
Yeah.
was not going to put a good quarterback on the field. And we talked about our questions with North Texas, that quarterback at length. We'll whatever, leave that in the past. But still, North Texas now going into this game, at least is not at a talent shortage at quarterback. It's not like you're going to this game saying, "Oh man, we have Stone Earl. They have fill in the blank of a good quarter. They have
Right.
Frank Harris.
Right.
They have Tanner Mordecai. They have all these guys who are clearly better than Stone Earl. Sam Jackson might be better than Stone Earl, but we don't know that. I think a lot of this for both teams is now going to be a product of the offense.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you have Jake Spavital for Cal, who was a really good or a really good head coach and offensive play caller at Texas State, against Chandler Morris. I'm sorry, Eric Morris,
Yeah.
at who was obviously good at Incarnate Word, Washington State, now North Texas. So I think that's honestly what this game comes down to: is which offensive coordinator, which offensive mind is sharper week one with a new team, and with a dual threat quarterback, basically.
Yeah.
How do
I
you
don't.
feel? So you're still scared. You're
I'm.
scared
Oh
of
yeah.
him
I
running
mean,
all over us.
I mean, it's Cal. It's not like we're thinking about like Navy with no
Yeah,
quarterback or ACU with no quarterback or La Tech FIU. This is still a Power Five team that's still quote unquote like it's Cal. Aaron Rodgers went to Cal, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Like it's not like it's just some school. So um I think it's good to go in with cautious optimism. Obviously, you're right when you say that this guy, like, I'm not as like I'd be way more worried if I had this guy instead of Stone Earl playing quarterback, right? Like we're not worried about him beating us through the air or anything like that. But you still have to worry about it being Cal, and they
yeah,
still get better talent. They still are in the Pac-12. Um, so I think yes, you're correct in saying that this could be best case scenario, but we still have to see it be like play out that way. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And it will challenge, obviously, the North Texas linebackers for
Yeah.
containment,
Yeah.
the defensive ends for containments, all that stuff. That will be incredibly challenging. Also, the linebackers, their eyes will have to be in the right place. We always hear that about from players, is their eyes. Well, if you're reading a read option, basically every single play of who's keeping it, who's are they handing
Yeah.
it off, that's difficult.
And
Last thing I
not for
will,
nothing, Kevin Wood, he's not 100%. Like he's not
yeah,
going to be in 100% game ready shape. So
yeah. The last thing I'll say about Sam Jackson, I listened to a little bit of Sonoy's podcast. He had two Cal writers on, and they did a pretty good job. Uh, they did mention that throughout the fall, it was very much boom or bust. Like they watched, I think one of them said they watched him throw like 4 picks in a day.
nice.
And then there was also a play where he rolled out and he made an incredible throw on the run, rolling to his right. Like boomer bust. I think boomer bust favors North Texas, even though obviously, like you said, Cal has the athleticism on the outside, has some tall playmakers at receiver. Obviously, as a playmaker at quarterback now. And then before we even get into that's the pass game, and then we get to the run game, and they have Jaden Ott, who is an all Pac 12 first team preseason player from Pro Football Focus, second team on Athlon, Phil Steele, and Pac 12 media. So one of the best 3 or 4 running backs in the Pac 12. That might be a little bit more concerning than even what Sam Jackson can do. Because Sam Jackson, in theory, if North Texas can't stop the run, Sam Jackson ends his game with 15 passing attempts.
Yeah.
And they said, what are you going to do? We're just going to lean on you.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. But Rod Brown, Fatafe Valea, like I think North Texas, when we did our rankings for the position units, we had them as an A. I still think I don't think they're going to get pushed around per se by Cal.
I agree. I agree with that.
I don't know. I'm just going through all this in my head right now. I last week, so I was up, right? I was on North
Yeah.
Texas.
You were
I was
up,
on
then
North
down, then
Texas.
up.
Then I was
Sounds like it
down.
sounds like you're ready to just declare them outright winner.
No,
after you okay.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was down after Stone Earl was named the quarterback, and now with Sam Jackson as the Cal quarterback, I'm back on the fence.
Mhm.
What are your expectations for this game now? Like, do you think it's gonna be high scoring, low scoring? Do you
I still
think
think it's gonna be like I think the over is 54, something like that. I think it hits that number. I have I'll score prediction later, but I don't see this getting out of hand. I think yeah, both teams have the boom potential, but I think both aren't going to be clicking to where we see a lot of the boom. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna see what the over under is at right now? Because honestly, now
ESPN just had it at 54. I don't know if how updated that is.
you're probably right, but that's dropped. I think I'm
I
pretty
think it
sure
was
that
58 last week when we talked about it, but I can't
it's
remember.
54 and a half now. Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it higher? Let me see. They have wow. So on Action Network, 5 people have picked the game. All 5 have picked North Texas +7.
Really?
So there you go. Now again, that's not them outright winning, and all we care about is them winning the game.
Yes.
I don't care if they win by 1 or if they win by 10 or if they lose by 1 or lose by 10. But regardless, let me see how much the total has moved. I feel like it's dropped pretty significant, 56 and a half to 54 and a half. So
Mhm.
I might take the under in that. I do think with 2 maybe running quarterbacks a little bit more, we see the game go a little bit quicker
Yeah.
in certain instances as well. All right, last thing before we get to our pick 'em, how will UNT win this game? Like if I told you North Texas wins, what has to happen?
Stone Earl solidifies himself as the number one quarterback. If they do any type of swapping, if we see Chandler Rogers, they don't win this game.
It's an interesting take. What if Chandler Rogers comes in and wins the game?
Don't think that can happen because I don't think they're gonna pull Stone. Like I don't. I think they're gonna wait
Look,
until the last second. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
obviously you got to give you run with your guy. You have him at the press conference. You talk him up. Like
yeah,
you gotta stay with him. This can't be like a thing where you pull him out after a pick. So
I agree. And my other concern, I know this is supposed to be about how North Texas is going to win this game, but my concern is that Cal was not a good defense last year, but basically every other year under Justin Wilcox, they've had a good defense.
yeah.
More
Also, a
likely than
OK Cal defense is probably a top half of the conference American
yes,
defense.
yes,
So
definitely. They're not gonna be bad like they were last year. Most
yeah,
likely, they're gonna be solid at the very least, and that with a quarterback in Stone Earl. Look, how they win this game, I agree with you. Stone Earl has a good game in both ways, running and throwing the ball. Like that's number one. Ultimately, Stone Earl, they're gonna have to get some help, I
yeah,
think, from Cal to win this game. They're gonna have to get some turnovers. They're gonna need Sam Jackson to fumble the ball, throw an interception. I think that, which is very much in the realm of possibility,
yeah,
right? I wouldn't shock me at all if Ridge Tejada had another pick six in this game because Sam Jackson threw him the damn ball. But they're gonna need that type of break in this game. I don't think they go toe to toe with Cal and just straight up win like the game. I think they're gonna need a turnover too, which forcing turnovers is a skill in its own right. But still, that's what I'm gonna have to say. Both teams have great running backs. Both teams have mobile quarterbacks. I'm actually very much convinced in this game being a kind of a lower scoring game off the bat. Now, last year, North Texas was a more explosive team, so maybe they could take advantage of some things, but there's too much unknowns right now for
yeah.
both of these teams.
So because there's so many unknowns, what are I think we should probably go through like what's one thing we both want to see offensive defense. Like what's the thing we're looking for? So like for offense, what are you looking for? Regardless of win or loss, what do you want to see?
I think honestly, if we flip it even outside to receivers more so, like Stone Earl is Stone Earl. Like okay, cool. Let's say
Yeah.
he's accurate, right? Because he had a very accurate fall camp. All right, the receivers are gonna have to make plays after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I mean, Jair Shorter didn't. Jair Shorter was on long balls more so, but you go down the list of Shorter, Guyton, Darden, like these guys are very explosive players. I want to see if Trey Cleveland is that. I want to see if Damon Ward is that. Jamori Macklin is that. Like we already know what Rod Burns is. He's not quite that, but those other players, if one of those guys emerges as like, hey, this is,
Something.
the next potential all conference receiver,
Yeah.
that's a big development because I don't know. We have Jamori Macklin as the best receiver on this team. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he has a big game. Maybe he breaks out this game. Maybe this is the one where he puts the team on his back, like a Jalen Darden type game. I'll have to see it.
Yeah, I think mine is going to be to see what actually happens with the offensive style. If it's going to be actually the air raid, or if it's going to be leaning into that run game like it has in years past, because I think that'll tell us a lot in terms of what they have or what they believe they have in terms of ability to throw the ball and make plays.
But would you be surprised if they ran the ball like 60% of the time?
I wouldn't be surprised, but if because like in years, I guess it's because of Austin Aune, but in years past, it's always been like run, 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 run. Now let's just go over the top,
Yeah,
and throw a touchdown. But I guess I want to see something similar to what you're saying. Is there going to be that next all conference guy where you can throw a 5-yard pass and turn it into 20, or like can you move down the field that way? And instead of having to move down the field only by rotating through your running backs. So I think that's something I want to see defensively for me. Can we contain the mobile quarterback? Can we contain the players?
dude. If he runs all over North Texas, I'm just gonna start having flashbacks, and I'm just gonna close my
Well,
eyes.
here's why I'm worried. Yeah, we've changed coaches and we have a new defensive coordinator, and they could be great, 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 great. The players are the same. Like obviously you can change some things, but if a guy's just faster than you, he's just faster than you.
Yes.
You
And
know,
that's what
so
you're getting at from a talent perspective. Cal is so
right,
like
right,
this guy Sam Jackson was a high 3-star, low 4-star
yeah,
guy as an athlete / quarterback. Like he's a playmaker.
yeah,
Now he might give North Texas the ball, but he's a playmaker nonetheless that can beat you in a lot of ways. So there's there's just so much unknown here
yeah,
with this. All right, are you ready to do our pick 'em?
yep.
Now we haven't decided on what we're doing for our punishment.
I've just decided yours. I'll
All
go
right.
bald, but you have to shave your beard. Did you go baby face?
I think I'd rather shave my head.
I know, that's why I said you have to shave your beard.
Hold on. Time out. We did not discuss this.
I
What
know.
if we did? Let me think.
Take a sip. Think about it. Ruminate.
My beard is all I have.
Beard is on.
I will shave my head. Let's go. Loser shaves their head.
Okay. Are we talking about like buff it, or are we talking like do we gotta show the shine like when after it happens?
No, just shave it down to like a half.
No, you have to shave it. You take
Yeah,
clipper. Yeah,
you
I'm
take
not.
clippers.
Yeah, but we're not putting a guard on it. It's not a half. It's just gone.
Loser shaves its head. All right. I don't think we're gonna come up with anything better than that. That's
I
pretty
don't
good.
think we can. If possible, it'd be cool if we could have like the other person like shave the other person's head.
I mean, we could. We don't have to do it the day after the season ends. Like we can
That's
see
true.
if we're gonna be in the same spot at any point.
Yeah, because that'd be cool. If not, then like we can have someone shave it for us live.
Live on Twitter. Come watch
On X. Jesus.
on X. Come watch Matthew
God.
Bruni get his head shaved.
I'm glad you're already conceding. That's good. This is a good start. So bald, right? Write it down in stone.
During
Shave it
basketball
bald.
season, I'm gonna go bald. Oh Lord.
You can be like LeBron after 2017.
Oh Lord, I don't want to. All right, Con. Well,
Lost
the
the
thing is
finals
for
and shaved
you,
his head.
maybe bald might be a good thing for you. You know.
Let me tell you, I'm losing hair at an exponential rate right now. I don't know if it's caused from my immune system or something, but I got in the shower sometime earlier this week, and I was like, oh, there's not really anything coming out. Next day, dude, I get in that thing. Jesus.
Oh Lord, yeah, it might be time, Con. Might be time to
But
hang it up.
it doesn't look like if I don't put a hat on, it doesn't push my hair down. It looks fine. I don't know.
I feel like we have a secondary one. You gotta shave your head while.
You don't think shaving your head's enough? I mean, I'm down with doing something else, but
I was
shave
gonna
your
add
head
a
while what?
secondary thing onto it. I was gonna say if there was like a hot chip that wasn't this hot, like a tier below.
Imagine doing the hot chip and then being told, yeah, you still have to shave your head.
You still have to shave your head.
Like,
Can we find that bag of the chips that they sell?
Yeah, I eat them. They're they're not super. I mean, they're hot, but like I'll sit there and eat them.
I thought you don't. I thought we couldn't find them.
I found them. The ghost pepper ones are at Walgreens.
Oh, I thought those were like a million on the Scoville
The
unit.
ghost peppers are, but they don't make the chips like that.
Oh, so you
They're,
just
they're
tear
not trying
through
to. They're
them.
not trying to kill. I mean, they're like in the couple hundreds of thousands.
You just tear through those,
Yeah.
and you wonder why you're losing hair and your body's breaking down.
Hey, capsaicin stops cancer. So if I gotta go bald not to have cancer, I'll take it.
There you go. I did think that'd be interesting to add a secondary thing, like a.
Well, we can think about that, but the main event is the bald.
Okay.
All right.
Make the graphics with us like without hair. All on the line.
I can't believe you wanted to defend your beard that bad.
I would look worse.
Yeah, you would.
Without a beard
Yeah.
with hair than without a hair with a beard. I just think that would look much worse. So.
What about both? You just gotta make sure your whole
I was like,
head
what
is shaved clean.
Because I still have to go cover. I still have to go cover basketball. I still have to work. Like this isn't. I'm not you here, all right? So
roll up to a press conference and you have no hair, no beard, got your face is all oily and like soft. Looking.
Yeah, like no one's gonna talk. Kim Mulkey's not talking to me.
Kim Mulkey's laughing in your face.
Remove him.
Yeah. Who is this guy? Take him out of here.
I shave that. I've had hair about this long since I was probably about 15, 16. So that would be a pretty drastic change. But all right, there you go. Anyways, let's get to the pick'em. We haven't got sidetracked.
Yeah.
The actual pick'em. Colin, so we both have this is how we're gonna do it this year. We both have two props or whatever you want to call them, you know, props, topics, whatever. We're gonna pick. And then we're both gonna pick the game.
Yeah.
So that gives us 5 every single game, every single week. That we can do. And for the 2 that you give to me, I will pick first. Okay. And you have to take the other side.
I have to take that's not how we did this in the past.
I know. But I don't want
No, you can't do that because if at the end of this, one of us is up 2, we would purposely take the other one to where there's just no chance.
No. But Colin, listen. I know everybody listening agrees with me. Is I make the props.
Yeah, I understand.
And you pick
but
them.
I could make a crazy prop that I know you wouldn't win.
No. Listen. So if you did Stoner over under 500 passing yards, right? I would just take the under.
Yeah, but what if it's close and I want to take the under? I don't like that. I disagree.
No.
I'm vetoing that. I like being able to pick.
No, it makes you set good lines. Like
we have always set good lines though. If I'm not gonna take the over on Stoner passing yards if we both don't think he's gonna go on the over. Like if we said he's not 230.
If you don't think it's gonna be over, then set it. You could set it like 200 or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna take the over because that's a low line. And you're like, I'm taking the under.
How many passing yards do you think Stoner's gonna throw for? That's not one of my props.
It's not one of my props either. I don't like.
No, tell me. Like, what would you put it at?
Maybe
220
on a good day.
220. And what would you? I'd probably put it like 230 over under. I'm going under.
I'm going under too. That's
right.
The
That's
point,
what I'm saying.
Though, is that I would set it like if I was setting the over under for props for Stoner, I would honestly set it at like 200.
That's dumb to me.
And go ahead, take the over because then I'm taking the under. And so whatever you take, I get the opposite of.
But then you automatically, it's going to be just split the whole time. We're just going to split it down the middle every time, every week. There's going to be an obvious answer every week because we're going to try to make the props lower.
No, you're getting confused.
I'm not getting confused.
Look,
if I have to set it at 200 and you will go over on that because I set it at 200 and I have to go under on that, I'm going to lose that every time because he's not going to go under 200.
No, you're not.
There is a 70% chance that I lose that.
Okay, then set the line higher then.
But if I set it higher, then I still want to go under. Like if I wanted to set it at 230.
Okay, and I take the over, then you get the under.
I don't know why you want to make it to where we got to go opposite. Why can't we just do what we did last
year? I don't want to pick the same thing as you, Colin. That's why.
We barely picked everything the same.
That's not true. We had quite a few times last year where we picked the same. That's not true.
See the hot tip on the wall?
Shut up.
See the hot tip
on the wall? Okay? You shut up. You're gonna shave your head. You're gonna shave your freaking head. All right. That's how we're doing it this year.
All right. I didn't agree to this.
Make it. Look, it's like whenever you there's one piece of cake left and you split it between two people. One person cuts it and the other person picks which one they want.
Except
It
there's only
ensures
one other.
that the
It's
person
like
doesn't try
picking
to
like,
screw them.
hey, we can have one person get on this lifeboat, and then it's like, oh, we can only have one person, and then you get on it, and then I have to die
We're not
because
making
I pointed out that there was one
Colin.
person left on the boat.
Colin is too smart to be.
I
Everybody
don't
listening
I
right
don't like
now
I don't like
understands what
yeah.
I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't like it.
What do
I
you
want to be
not
able to
like
pick what I
about
want to
it?
pick. If we both
Just
think it's
set
gonna
the
go under,
line.
we'll just pick different picks. Pick
Okay.
different props.
All right. Whatever. We'll do it your way this week, and then whenever people listen to this, they'll be like, "Colin's an idiot," and you'll.
I thought it was fine last time. I thought last year was great.
Shut up. All right. What are your bets then? What are your props?
I have
Because now you already have yours in mind, and you set the line in order to make those. So in theory, that's even more conspiracy esque. Is
how
that
am I
you could have
conspiracy-esque?
been like, all right, well, I'm gonna set Stone Rose total at 250 passing yards, knowing you're gonna take the under. And then what if I was just like, oh, I'm gonna take the over or something?
Well, that's the point of a prop.
No,
Because you have the freedom to be stupid.
no. All right, but go ahead.
I changed the over under on points to 55.5.
Under.
Yeah, under as well.
Yeah, under. You're gonna take the under as well.
Hey, but
We're
on the
gonna have
four-person
freaking picks every time.
On the four-person podcast, you predicted like 62 points.
Yeah, well, now that I know they have a freaking receiver playing quarterback and North Texas has Stone Earl playing quarterback, I'm taking the under.
I didn't know you change it until this podcast. I
Well,
made these. We both made these props before
you're
the podcast.
you're trying to beat the system. You see that?
You want me to change it,
guys? Everybody listening, you see how Colin just tried beating the system by saying, "Oh, he's going to take the over for sure," so I'm going to take this.
That's the point.
You should have to be punished.
Try to win the points, but then you can try to. But you have the freedom not to just die.
You should be punished for that. You should have to take the over. That's how we should freaking do it.
I think it's stupid.
Okay. All right. We're both on the under. I'm not even going to write it down. Why would I write it down?
Because you should. We get points.
We get the same points.
Yeah, but it all adds up, Brittany. It all adds up. All right, you go. Are we saying both at the same time?
Whatever you want.
Do we see Chandler Rogers? That I didn't know if we could do that, but I like that one.
Writing it down. Like one snap counts.
Like, yeah, if he comes in at all. I guess unless you want to take away injury, like if
barring Stone Earl injury.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think we see him.
I have no. Look, Breen, we're different. Wow. Are we doing score at the end? Like you go now and then okay.
I'm going. It's my turn.
I know.
Okay. Stone Earl rushing yards over under 45.5. Do you want to say it at the same time?
Yeah, let's count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, under.
Over. Okay. There you go.
No, hey, if he goes over 45 yards, that means he's not accurate. I'm just kidding.
Oh Lord! All right.
Look, we're different on all of them so far. Isn't that crazy? Except for
that's not true, Colin. We have the same.
Maybe we just shouldn't do the over/under score because I feel like that one's
whatever. UNT defense turnovers forced over under 1.5. We can do the same time again if you want. But I already got my answer actually.
Over under 1.5, huh? God. Under.
All right, I'm over.
I can change the score one.
Because no. If
you're worried about
it,
if you're worried about it,
leaving it. No,
we're worried about it.
We're doing whatever you want.
If you're worried about it, I feel like there's some tension, Bree. Do we need to? I don't know.
A great idea. Colin just shoots it down.
Just like your beard, I was not briefed.
Okay. All right. Final score.
I'm doing the same one I did on the Super Podcast 3124 Cal.
I don't even remember what I said on mine. All right. Colin says 31-24.
Yes.
I'm gonna go even lower scoring.
Really?
27-24 Cal.
Sheesh.
Talk about a heartbreaker in Apogee to start the season. Close game. I'm
Dude,
back in on North Texas.
that would be crazy.
I'm
27
back
24
in.
loss.
I'm back in on North Texas, folks. Tell your friends, tell your family. I'm back in. I'm back in. So there you go. There you have it. There's the podcast. There's our preview podcast. Yeah, we're back. It's the season, Colin. Thursday. We are 2 hours away, basically, from the season starting for North Texas.
Oh, yeah.
2 days away. So, yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Let us know what you think. Give us your predictions in the comments below. Let us know. Is North Texas gonna win? Is Cal gonna win?
I guess for the record too, I don't, in case people didn't see our schedule thing, I have them going 6-6 this season. Bruni said 7-5. So just in case.
Well, that's the last podcast.
I know, but just in case no one.
Well, they can go back and watch the damn podcast.
Okay, go back and watch the podcast. I didn't say that at all. We do go through every game though, so
go through every game. But yeah. Anyways, leave us a 5-star comment or 5-star review on Apple, Spotify. Follow us on X, Green Room UNT. God. Leave a go to Home Field and put in code MGreen at checkout for 15% off. Subscribe, comment, share, like, all that stuff. We appreciate the support. It is football season in Denton, Texas, and across the country. Let's see if the Mean Green will get the win over the Golden Bears of Cal.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Sounds so inspirational. It's like the intro to that season thing where it's like, do you believe in the Mean Green? It's like showing the stadium and it's like flying through with a drone and stuff.
Believe. It's time.
I think it's Bernie's. Are you? Sorry, give me 30 seconds. Are you graduated long enough to where you can be an alum that's on one of those? Can you narrate one of those now? Are you allowed? What do you think the criteria for that is?
Why have I not been asked to narrate this? Look, you go through the last 8 years of North Texas athletics, and you talk to anybody in an athletic directors, the football coaches, the basketball coaches, the soccer coaches, any of them. They know me.
Mm-hmm.
How much more do we need?
Do the fans know you?
Enough fans know me at this point. Enough.
You have to put yourself on the level of like Joe Green.
No,
what percentile of alumni are you in? Just for me personally, like I'm definitely like top 70. I think top 70%.
So you're saying like on a scale of 1 to 100, you're like in the top 30%?
No,
no,
I'm the top 70%.
So you're only beating out 30% of alumni.
Yeah.
No, come on, Colin. Give yourself a little bit of credit, Colin.
No, because you have to think there's doctors that like do cancer research.
But are they listening to the podcast of those cancer researchers? No. No. They're not. Let Matthew Bruni narrate a pregame hype video, and I swear to God, it'll be the best one you've ever heard. LSU's got all these superstars doing theirs, and I don't care. You got Jeffrey Wilson, did one already. Mason Fine did one already. Go find Jalen Guyton, get him to do one. Sure. Go get Nate Brooks to go get one. Sure. At the end of the day, you're going to have to come down the list at some point.
Mm-hmm. And where are you on that list, though?
I'll be right there.
I said top 70%. Where are you putting yourself?
You put yourself way too low.
I don't think so.
Bro, you know how many people go to North Texas? Like 40,000 people.
Yeah.
Every year you have 10,000 people, 12,000, however many people graduate. I mean, come on. If there are 10,000 people in your graduating class, Colin, You don't think you're in the top 4,000 of most recognizable? I think you are. So
Oh,
there
well,
you
that
go.
seems pretty. All right, so I'm top 40%, which means you're putting yourself definitely top 25, and that might be a
Ha!
little too high for some folks.
Top 10%. Top 10%.
10. Okay.
A
Right.
1,000 people in my graduating class. There's not more than 100 people that are more famous than me right now.
I
That
didn't mean
sounded so conceited for a guy who's sitting in an apartment in Baton Rouge. Like, that is an incredibly condescending thing to
doing a
say.
G5 podcast.
Doing a North Texas podcast and is worried about a second loan kicking in
Yeah.
September. Like, there's way too
I think
conceited
you
for that.
automatically have to if you got student loans, you automatically got to knock yourself.
Removed from the list. Like, it's like that whole thing. Like, if you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it. Like, it's no. So,
Look at that.
anyways,
We just walked through it was a whole circle right there.
all in good fun. All in good fun. All in good fun. I promise I don't think that much of myself, but we're having fun. We're having fun. Okay. All right. Anyways, we'll be back after the game, probably on Sunday. Maybe no, actually on Saturday we're gonna do it because I leave on Sunday to Orlando.
It'll be late Saturday, assuming I still have this housewarming
Party
party.
boy
Assuming that I still
Colin.
have it. I don't think I'm if it gets on my if it starts to if I start to like look like I got some type of like
Yeah.
zombie disease coming up my neck,
Yeah.
it's not
off.
happening.
Sorry everybody that was going to Colin's party. It
Yeah.
might be off.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody.
All right. I'm ending the podcast. There you go. Thank y'all for joining
Okay.
us. We'll talk to y'all on Saturday.